But even with the technology changes and policy changes that have taken place during the course of the last 100 years, we are still stuck in the Edison marketplace. So what is the concern? The concern is with efficiency and using the marketplace to propel the development and use of renewable energy. The current central planned and subsidized renewable energy marketplace is costly, inconsistent, and slow to develop. Customers who are providing the subsidies in current markets are unaware of the subsidies being provided and do not have a choice in where their subsidies are being directed. So what is being proposed in the conference is moving from an electric renewable energy marketplace to one that, a past place, to one that is now more competitive. What is required is a differentiated electric supply product. A differentiated electric supply product distinguishes 1 kilowatt hour from another kilowatt hour by the source of generation, which created the kilowatt hour to begin with. Created with the kilowatt hour generated would be a contract enabling a kilowatt hour to be sold and owned by a customer at a price reflective of the value of the kilowatt hour. A new market design as envisioned would allow renewable energy project developers to sell the output of their facilities under long-term contracts to an end-use customer. As part of this contract, included would be costs for maintaining system reliability, energy scheduling, balancing, reconciliation, along with ancillary services to deliver that energy. The contract could be priced at the fully allocated cost to assure project profitability. Contracts purchased by customers could be subsequently traded as are shares of stock on stock exchanges. The concept of a power supply contract is not new and currently exists in the New York Independent System Operator marketplace in the form of bilateral agreements or power purchase and sale agreements between parties. What is proposed is to base the contract on an individual unit of production, standardized in a fashion similar to the contract for an individual share of stock or a futures contract, which may be purchased and traded on market exchanges. IT technology allows for such contract identification, sale, tracking, and retirement to be owned and accounted for. And if you don't think this is possible currently today, look at what we do with ATMs. ATMs are tracking every dollar in your account. So we could do the same thing with the energy marketplace. What is currently being a suggested model is today in place to a large degree with the retail access programs in New York State. For retail access customers, an accounting and financial settlement is currently taking place for generation deliveries into the New York ISO control area, deliveries to the utility system, and deliveries to the end-use customer. All schedules and deliveries are meeting existing New York ISO security-constrained economic dispatch criteria, maintaining adequacy of supply and system reliability. What is suggested as a modification to the retail access model in New York is to allow direct access to a renewable energy project developer. Allow the project output to be sold by contract on a long-term basis of, say, 20 years. Let the per kilowatt hour output be sold at a price per unit based upon value. Allow the contract to be owned by the customer who can resell the contract. So what are the benefits of such a revised model for a differentiated product? The revised model allows the developer to put together a long-term power purchase agreement required for project financing at a price that reflects project profitability. It allows the per unit selling price to differ from the price in the commodity market. Based upon consumer preference, it allows the acquiring consumer to provide a value-based project and product subsidy. It allows the customer to purchase a supply of superior value to fossil fuel electric production and obtain a contract which over the life of the contract might in fact end up providing savings versus electric commodity purchases. It allows the customer to trade the contract. The revised model opens up a marketplace for information technology applications supporting customer purchases and producing jobs. It opens up a trading marketplace for renewable contracts. It allows for customer choice, providing a supply-side option in the heavily dominated demand-side benefits accruing from smart grid applications. So let me reiterate three of the areas where jobs would develop. First, tying all of the contract provisions to be sold to a customer together and making those provisions understandable, manageable, and user-friendly will take IT applications that are significant. These applications these applications subsequent to development will require support, maintenance, and constant improvement. Second, with a customer marketplace that supports renewable energy development, generation projects proposed, permitted, and constructed should increase substantially, adding development, professional, construction, and maintenance positions. Finally, the smart grid development has failed to take off as initially envisioned simply because it lacks the customer supply side option, and that's my opinion. The smart grid produces efficiencies, better control, and other demand side options. However, the customer who wants an energy product of value to purchase is left out of the equation. Marrying a purchase option to other control options available through smart grid applications will help to accelerate smart grid development with associated job creation. So this is what the conference is all about today. Discussing and investigating options for making the renewable energy marketplace more competitive. After our keynote speaker, Dave Pacina, and having been over his talk and his slides, let me tell you, you're in for a treat this morning. Following Dave, the morning session consists of two sessions. The first by Joshua Barlev, who is a renewable energy project developer and one of the founders of Bright Source Energy. He comes to us from the West Coast. Joshua will discuss from a personal experience basis how competitive the national energy marketplace is and encumbrances to renewable energy project development. He is followed in the second session in the morning by John Schultz, who represents one of the largest ESCOs on the East Coast that is very active in electric retail supply markets of New York State. John will account for the electric energy supply marketplaces that exist today in the Northeast and how renewable energy is being sold in that Northeast marketplace. During lunch, we'll hear from Lee Mierengoff, the nationally accredited pollster, on what customers think about renewable energy and their interests and attitudes. Lee will provide a sense of what needs to be done to create the differentiated electric supply marketplace. The afternoon session will be chaired by Dr. Dario Gill, who heads up IBM's Smart Energy Research. Dr. Gill will introduce the afternoon panel with a description of opportunities IBM sees in IT application development and support, which is critical for making the competitive marketplace proposed functional and user-friendly. There are three panelists in the afternoon, consisting of Rich Dewey, the individual who heads up the area of information technology for the New York ISO, Ray Wurslich, an attorney specializing in FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, related matters, and Charlie Frenny, who heads up customer service for Central Hudson. Rich will detail what the ISO is capable of providing to create a truly competitive, differentiated electric supply marketplace. Ray will discuss some of the policies that have to change from a regulatory perspective to allow a truly competitive model to be established. And Charlie will discuss the benefits of allowing customers to shop for supply. How best to move to the competitive, differentiated electric supply marketplace is the topic of another conference. However, suffice it to say that available funding, accounting, and organizational capability is already in place to provide for such a competitive market, albeit such capabilities would need to be redirected. I want to thank all of you for your interest, your participation, and your leadership on being here today. And please participate in any fashion you feel comfortable, but please do participate. Thank you.